SBTV.
From Wifey Rhythms to Wiz Khalifa collaborations, this young man made a discovery, and in case you didn't get it, he's now back with a demonstration. Without a single tantrum, it must be a Tinie Tempah. How are you feeling, sir?
I'm good, man. How are you, bro?
It's nice to be here. It's nice to finally have a little interview with you because I've had a few questions in my mind that I wanted to ask you for a long while now. So it's a good chance to be here to have the chance to do that.
Definitely, bro.
So, for those of us that have actually like kind of followed your career from before, from the actual beginnings, like we will know that you had an affiliation with the Aftershock crew.
Yeah.
Do you still see any of the boys like Terror Danger, Bruiser, D-Dark? Do you still see them?
Yeah. Do you know what was amazing? About 2 years ago, I remember I saw Terror Danger in Coachella, like of all places. So we was in it's just outside LA, like Palm Springs. And I had a set and he had a set, and it was just nice, man. Like I remember I saw, like, cause those are my guys, you know, no matter what, like those are my guys, and I have a lot of love and respect for them. And obviously there was a certain stage in my career where they really did help me like develop, you know, as an artist. So when I saw Terror Danger, I remember it was just that thing, you know, when you just look at someone and you're like, that's amazing, man. We're both in the same place. You're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing. It's great, good to see you, man, you know. And yeah, I mean, I apart from that, you know, I still talk to D-Dark as well. He's somebody who, for the part of Aftershock we was in, because we was in Aftershock, but we was in like a division of Aftershock. So, you know, D-Dark was somebody who I was in that same division with. So I still speak to him as well once in a while, which is really good. And yeah, he's somebody who I think is very talented as well. So I wish him all the best.
Definitely. And in you actually getting signed, I heard that when the label actually came to visit you, they were actually so impressed with just the way that you and your cousin / manager were organized at the time that kind of gave them like extra impetus to want to actually sign you. So at that time when you were working as an independent artist, what was the mentality or even the plan that you had back then?
That's actually a good question. Yeah, so basically, I think like when my cousin and I like really thought about the concept behind Disturbing London, so he founded it, and then we started to think about what it was all about. The ethos was basically trying to do everything to a major kind of record label standard, you know. So I think when the label first came to check us out, I already had like a crazy MySpace. Remember MySpace? I had a crazy MySpace with loads of like views and followers and whatnot, and then I had a blog which was doing really well, like with over 1 million hits, and then I'd already like recorded my album. It wasn't the final album that we ended up releasing, but it was more or less, you know, like a complete body of work, good producers, really finished and refined. We had our own studio space, you know, which we had rented out, and it was to a good standard. So I think when they came in, as well as obviously everything they were interested in already, they were kind of overwhelmed at how organized everything was and how professional everything was. And I just think, you know, sometimes like when you're an artist or when you're a creative person, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have business acumen or you have to be professional, but it definitely does help.
Yeah, definitely.
Because what people don't realize is, as much as this is a creative thing and a form of expression, it's also a business as well. So if you can speak the same language as somebody in a business environment, it does wonders and it's just as good, you know. So yeah, I think those were probably the things that they noticed that kind of gave them that extra push.
Cool. And I know you made a statement where you said previously when you lived in the council estate, seeing semi-detached houses across the street kind of gave you a motivation.
Yeah.
But what would you say motivates you now?
These are good questions. These are really good questions.
Yeah.
What would I say motivates me now? To be quite honest with you, it's funny, like when you achieve something and you get to taste something. I don't know how to explain it. Like, even in the most lamest term, like say if I gave you now like a sports car with like a certain litre engine, and you drove it and you got a feel of it, you got comfortable. Yeah, you want more after that, and that is exactly the same with like accolades and, you know, everything I've been able to achieve off the back of my career. You know, like, you know, after making my first album and it doing as well as it did, which was like amazing and definitely a blessing. Like, I just remember thinking, all right, it went double platinum, so next time around I want to go triple. Yeah. And then after doing the O2 Arena, you do it once, and then you're like, you experience it, it's real, you've done it. Like now I walk through the backstage bit and it's like people know me in there. All the security guards are like, "Wow, go on, Tinie," you know them ones. So after that, you think, "Oh, cool, I've done it once. I want to do it again. I want to do it twice. I want to, So I think that is like the main motivation, and I think especially with demonstration, getting into that as a record, like. Legacy as well, man. Legacy is very, very important, and that's one thing that I don't really think personally a lot of us over here have necessarily thought about. I think when you think about people like Jay-Z and even Kanye West, who kind of hasn't done as much but is very much on his way, they've got to the point where they're starting to begin to leave legacies. Legacies is it's more about the whole man encompass, his music, what he achieved, everything he'd done, some of the things he said, while he was in that position. So yeah, just being able to leave a good legacy and just being able to like inspire, the same way that I was maybe inspired by like Dizzy or Wiley or Kano kind of growing up, to be able to have that same impact on somebody who is the age I was then, wanting to do what I'm doing now, and just give them a little bit more direction, and again, more professionalism and more just a more refined article,
Yeah, I definitely agree. To relate your success to me personally, I remember there was 2 instances that I kind of really thought, wow, Tinie's doing this. I remember I was in the airport in New York, and I walked into one of the shops to look at the magazines, and I picked up the Source magazine, and I seen they had like a half-page feature on you. I was like, wow. And then I remember I came back to England, and I remember I saw you as a guest being interviewed on BET's 106 and Park, and then as a judge on Freestyle Fridays. And I was like, what, like a UK artist, like that's actually on arguably the biggest hip-hop show in the world, as a judge, judging other rappers from the US and being interviewed yourself. Like I was just like, wow, that Tinie's certified, like fully certified. But how did that come about, and how did it feel when you were there?
It was a great experience. Being in America's been really good, like in the sense that, it's very much, it's not an overnight thing. This is what I always try to explain to someone. If you're just trying to like, leave a mark on somewhere or really, put a firm stamp on somewhere, it's not an overnight thing. I don't ever expect to like, off the back of one album, be like, oh, I've made it and everything is done. There's definitely a few steps of what I think is going to be a long journey, do you know what I mean? But one that I'm very much prepared to like take on board. But America's been really good in the sense that, I'm different to them. I'm different, and I think that's what a lot of people, don't think about as much. Like, no matter what, we're not the same as Americans, and Americans are not the same as us. So when we go over there, even for artists who don't do what I do, but that have had the same, if not more success than I have over there, it's almost like, what are you offering? What are you offering us that we don't see all the time? We don't see every day, that we're gonna like really love or endear to? Because there's a million rappers in America, a million.
It's true.
There's probably little 15-year-olds right now that are like crazy on some next. Like, so what have you got? What are you offering that is different? And I just think whatever it was that I did have to offer, people really seemed to like really engage and embrace with it. And I was lucky, I was able to go on a few tours, which really helped. Like, I remember I supported Lupe on a few shows, which was great, and I supported Usher on a few shows, which was really great as well. And then obviously other things in different genres, like the Swedish House Mafia thing, Miami to Ibiza was really big over there. Like when they did Madison Square Gardens, they brought me out. That was really, really crazy. So yeah, I was around in so many different worlds in America, fashion as well, they were aware of that. So with the 106 and Park thing, yeah, I just think they just wanted to have me on the show, and it was amazing because I was able to judge next to Rico Love, who's somebody who is an amazing producer, someone who I really, really like respect as well. And I just think it's good, it's good. I think sometimes even showing people around the world that there's other people who may look the same as you but have a different identity and have come somewhere different is healthy for the world, So I was happy that I was able to get the opportunity to do that, and we're just trying to do a lot more, always.
Well done, I have to say, well done, definitely.
Thanks, bro.
And speaking about rappers in the USA, I know you made a statement where you said you would have liked to have worked with Drake. Could we expect that anytime in the near future, or how do you think about that?
Well, yeah, in the future, definitely. Like, I'd love to. He's somebody that I supported him in Europe. and Scandinavia as well. And just like watching him, this was like around the time of his second album, and his third album is just even more better and like unbelievable. But I think just watching him, and to be honest with you as well, like he's somebody who I really respect in the sense that he's not really from America either. Like he's from Canada, you know, and he's from somewhere where, you know, realistically, the same way we would probably get a certain bit of stigma because we're not from there, he would as well. But he's been able to transcend all of that and overcome all of those obstacles and barriers. So he's somebody who's definitely on my wish list to work with, and you know, at some point in the future, I'd love to be able to make that happen.
Cool. And let's get on to more about demonstration. Children of the Sun is out October 28th.
Yeah.
Are we all children of the sun? Like, is that like a statement for us to all feel included in? Are we all children of the sun? Like, how would you explain the actual concept of the song?
To be quite honest with you, like there's so many like deep connotations to it, but it's almost like, you know, you're a child of the sun if you believe you are. Like one of the main reasons and the main undertone of why the song is called Children of the Sun is because obviously it's a young person with a bright future, but I just wanted to think of like a more metaphorical way to be able to say it. And I think when they talk about, you know, this modern day generation, young people of today, it's always very negative. It's always very, you guys are Asbos and you guys are obsessed with celebrity and reality TV and this generation is so... I just wanted to I feel like, you know, when I was talking to you about legacy and that, I want to start making songs that, one, you know, appeal to so much more people, you know, wider and wider and wider audiences. And then obviously, secondly, just give people some sort of motivation or hope. It's almost like when I made Written in the Stars, I noticed the difference as to when I made Pass Out. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. Pass Out was incredible. Like, people want to hear it in the clubs. People want to lose their mind. Like, Written in the Stars was more like a global thing. Like, I think I did like 3 million copies of it worldwide. I got this plaque with like all different flags around the world of people who had bought it. So it was something that it seemed like it resonated with people more, and for maybe even a bit longer. So Children of the Sun is more in that vein as well. And the undertone of it basically is that no matter what people say, like, you, as a young person or someone of this generation, your future can be bright. And like, you know, and like just using my experiences and putting that in the record, you know, life wasn't necessarily easy for me. I had to go through all these obstacles, but I'm here. So I'm just saying to you guys, you know, the same thing can happen to you if you want it to, you know.
Definitely. And I was lucky enough to get a preview of Demonstration, the album. It's a very good album.
Thank you.
But before that comes out, I know you've got your 11 city tour that starts, I think, December 2nd in Aberdeen.
Yeah, that's after it. That's after it comes out. So yeah, the album comes out November 4th, and then we go in December, straight on the road. Yeah, straight away.
I was gonna ask you, in terms of the tour, if you could describe in 5 words what people that are going to be attending could expect, what 5 words would those be?
Wow. Okay. Energy. A sense of being spontaneous. Just take that as a word, please, because I was trying to find spontaneous in one word.
Spontaneity.
Yeah. There we go. Done. Yeah. New music. Yeah. Fresh.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Go ahead.
And then just just excitement. Yeah. I don't really think 5 words justifies it, to be honest. I like, to be quite honest with you, I'm really, really excited to be doing the second arena tour. So excited. I've got a whole bunch of new music, a whole bunch of like new songs that I'm really in love with, that, you know, I feel are really big, and, you know, I feel like I'm more seasoned as a performer. You know, and I've got songs that I did in between the 2 albums that I'd never really got the opportunity to perform to people, like, you know, Drinking from the Bottle, or Earthquake with Labyrinth, or Hits with Chase and Status, or R.I.P. with Rita Ora. So all of those things are gonna be like thrown into this really like hour-and-a-half long show. We've got Big Sean as a special guest, you know, so it's just gonna be like, it's gonna be crazy, man. I never ever like half step when it comes to that.
Cool. And to add another word to what I think you bring to your shows, you have to be jumping. Yeah. And obviously your jumping abilities on stage have been commented about, and even Trampoline has been inspired by that. And speaking about Trampoline, you've got Trampoline with the Man of the Moment, 2 Chainz.
Yes.
And it went to number 3 in the UK chart, so well done.
Thank you.
My question is, if you could have 3 girls on a trampoline with nothing but 2 Chainz on, who would they be?
I love that. Nothing but 2 Chainz.
Yeah.
What, 3 girls wearing 2
girls,
chains? Or are they
nothing but
all
2
wearing
chains.
two chains together? Or
They got
have
2
they got
chains
2
each.
chains individually?
Nothing
Okay,
but
2
2
chains
chains,
each.
yeah.
Nice. Who would I say? All the girls I like now are married, man. What do I do, bro? It's just bad.
It's getting hard.
Is
for
this
us,
bad?
isn't it?
Is it bad to say I would like Beyonce? That's bad, isn't
No,
it?
it's not bad.
Are you sure?
It's real. It's fantasy.
It's
though,
real.
innit?
Okay, it's fantasy.
It's
Cool.
fantasy, yeah.
Okay, right. Beyonce would definitely be one. Megan Good would definitely be one.
Is she
She's
married?
married, yeah, bro. She married like a pastor or something like that. Yeah, she's married. She's gone. And then I watched this film recently called Trance, yeah, and I always liked the girl, Rosario Dawson,
Yes.
but she's like naked. She's naked in the film, and so after I saw that, I definitely want her to, yeah.
So we got Rosario Dawson.
Yeah,
Beyonce,
Megan Good and
Megan
Beyonce.
Good. It's
Yeah,
a nice
that's
kind of
good.
combination as well. We got
I'll
a
get,
Latino,
I'll
we
get
got
some cocoa butter, and I'm good.
Where would you put the cocoa butter? Where would it? All right, no, we leave that one there. We leave that one there. All right, and going forward, I know you made a statement recently where you were saying that you feel like you wanted to maybe live a bit more like a rock and roll star, like maybe have a bit more like kind of like crazy fun. And you even said you would like to go out there and maybe get a lap dance or 2. So I wanted to ask you, like, because I'm interested, I want to come. Like, if we were to go, would it be more of a Magic City King of Diamonds vibe, or would it be more of a Stringfellows?
My G, let me tell you. Yeah.
Ratchet or Regal?
Do you know what? That's why I like England. It's funny because obviously, even though something like that can still happen, they try their best to make it as classy as possible. They try their best. Yeah. That was the key phrase. Yeah. But in America, it's weird. Like even just traveling there, doing promo there, trying to make it happen out there. A strip club is really part of their culture. Like I don't just mean like sleazy guys go to strip clubs in the afternoon. I mean girls, like nice girls, couples. It's like a regular, like certain guys will be in there like 3 in the afternoon eating food. Like in Atlanta, the only 5-star Michelin star restaurant is in a strip club. It's in Cheetahs.
That's amazing.
It's crazy. So I would definitely, like, if you was coming along, we'd definitely have to go to like Atlanta, maybe try Magic City, maybe try Foley's, maybe try Cheetahs, maybe try Onyx.
I haven't been. I've only been to Miami, so I don't know.
Have you been to any? I've never been to King of Diamonds.
Like, I see people in there getting haircuts and getting
See?
food, and
That's
then
what I'm
strippers
saying.
just
It's like,
twerking over there.
Yeah, in America it's different. It's not like how you'd imagine it. It's just different. So all right, we'll go to Atlanta and then you can take me to KOD.
That's a plan. That is a plan. Definitely. All right. Now I like to play games with people. Yeah. So one of the games I wanted to play was called a demonstration game. In keeping with the title of your album, I've noticed also that you like to get your work in the gym, right?
Yeah.
Put the work in the gym. So I was gonna say to you, if you could demonstrate 3 of your most popularly used workouts, which 3 would those be?
Okay, a pull-up. I'm proud of the pull-up. I can do a good pull-up, and I've even got to the stage now where I can do a pull-up with a weight. They got like a weight belt
around your waist.
Yes, I could do a pull-up. That's a good one. What else can I could do a good squat with a weight.
Okay.
Yeah, I could do a squat with a weight, and I want to do ones that I know I'm gonna be able to do well. What else? Oh, another good one. I've learned how to do like a sit-up. But you know, with the long bar that you use to bench. Like I'm up to about 60 kg. If you get it across on the floor, and then you do the sit-up with it, yeah. So I could demonstrate those.
And I want to call those Tinie's Tonk tips or Tinie's top Tonk tips. Yeah,
nice.
That's from you, the free ones. Yeah.
Done. Yeah.
All right. Last thing I want to say to you. Because I was or Tinie's top get Tonk tips.
Nice.
There you go.
Work.
We can work with it. We can work with it.
Get a T-shirt, bro.
That's the idea, you know.
That's it.
It could run as well.
Definitely.
There'd be enough guys out there trying to.
Definitely, you're onto something, man.
Instagram. All right. Well, before we go, obviously it's all about the album right now, demonstration.
Yeah.
Like I said, I really enjoyed the album.
Oh, thanks, man.
I wanted to just do a little thing with you where I could what I call bars breakdown or a breakdown of bars. There was 3 different bars that I picked out that I wanted to ask you your elaboration on.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go straight into them. The first one that I had was this one, yes, on trampoline.
Yeah.
You said splitting bills, that's trampy. Yeah. Bad, Tinie. Like when I'm out now, I can't even split bills.
I feel like a lot of people have misinterpreted that, and this is the perfect place to be able to clarify it.
Yes.
When I was talking, definitely I was definitely thinking in my own mind a bit too much, but I meant when you go out on a date.
Okay.
If you go out on a date with a girl, I personally think that you should, as a man,
Take the bill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, man. I don't think you
I
should
can agree with that.
no girl.
But like,
But yeah, I think when it first came out, I think
Yeah.
a lot of people was like, "What?" So if I'm out with 20 man, and when STK now, what man God? Nah, it wasn't like that. I
Yeah.
just mean if you're out on a date
Yeah.
and you split the bill with a girl, like you always see it in those comedy movies
Yeah.
and it's awkward and
Yeah.
that's what.
all right.
Yeah.
I can agree with that one. All right, cool. On Witch Doctor, great
Yeah.
track by the way. Witch Doctor.
Thank you.
Trust me, great track. You
Thank
said
you.
her ass so round, I thought it was a camera trick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, is that like a reference to maybe some of these Instagram girls
Yeah.
and all the poses where they kind of like they twist it around and stuff
or
like
they,
that?
Or they tiptoe,
Yeah,
or it's like
yeah.
heels.
Drop one
I think
leg.
heels increases
Yeah,
it by like
it does.
25%,
It
I
does.
think. So yeah, that's basically what it was. Yeah, I think just making fun of like our generation
Yeah.
today, it's almost like, sometimes not to say I do it, but even back in the day, like you would see someone on like Instagram, maybe for me more so Facebook back in the day,
Yeah.
and then when you go and meet the person, they're just like,
That's not the same.
yeah, like where is she? Where is she? 'Cause they're doing all sorts of like jiggery pokery
Yeah.
angles.
Yeah.
The famous Kim Kardashian one,
Yeah.
I don't get it, but yeah. So that's from.
Cool. Last one was it's more of a deep one this time.
Yeah.
On Children of the Sun.
Yeah.
You said how can home be where the heart is when even your shadow leaves you in darkness.
Yeah.
I thought that was almost poetic.
Yeah.
But in terms of your opinion, like, what were you trying to get across?
I'm basically just trying to say that at the end of the day, like, it's funny, like fame just affects the way people are around you in certain ways. So it was just a metaphorical way of saying that at the end of the day, like London is my home and this is where I'm from.
Yeah.
But sometimes because of the fame,
Yeah.
as much as this is my city,
Yeah.
I can just feel so alone here.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like even like obviously this is something that's very deep and it will only end up going deeper the more I explain it.
Yeah.
But sometimes like because of the situation that I'm in,
Yeah.
my relationship with some of my friends sometimes is quite awkward. So sometimes they feel awkward around me in terms of certain environments I go to or certain things I talk about now that they can't relate to. It's quite awkward, Sometimes I go to certain places and there's everybody staring at me, so I feel like a stranger. I feel isolated. So
Yeah.
even though this is my city where I should feel most comfortable, there's certain points in myself where I just feel so alone that even my shadow is not even there. Do you get what I mean?
I feel that. And that kind of relates to the other lyric you had. I think you said something like when people get too close, you feel fidgety.
Yeah.
So it kind of all comes around full circle.
Exactly.
Well, I want to say congratulations on the great album.
Thank you very much,
Thank you
sir.
for your
Thank
time.
you.
Listen,
Okay.
Children of the Sun out now. The
Out
album
now.
Demonstration November 4th.
Yes, out now.
And the tour starts December
December 2nd.
2nd.
Yeah, out now.
Tinie Tempah Demonstration.
Out now.
SBTV. It's out now.
Out now.
And we're out now.
Out.